Welcome to the world of Meg's mysteries. Open the door to suspense and thrillers, ghosts and the unbelievable. Take a journey to the unknown. Let me take you along for the mysteries. Let them unfold for you.
Welcome back to Meg's Mysteries. This story is called The Madness of Two. Folie à deux. Folie à deux. Shared madness. Psychotic condition. Two closely associated people with similar or identical delusions of madness. Example, the Joker and Harlequin Quinn. The Madness of Two. It is well past midnight. Marcel Fortunato is standing in his parlor, admiring his newest purchase. Then a sweet voice says, "Marcel," and he turns around. "Ah, you made it just in time. I've sent everyone away. The manor is all ours. No one will interrupt us. Come, my dear, and see what I have found. My newest addition to my collection, the Madonna and Child. It's by an unknown artist from the School of Art in Paris. His name was Louis Folledu. A century ago, it was just found, and it's priceless. Come closer and we will toast this magnificent painting with my very best wine." Gabriella comes closer and stares at the painting and smiles. "I will pour the wine, and yes, it is magnificent. You did well at the auction house last month. Were there many bidders? But you always win, don't you?" "Yes, one old woman almost won, but as you know, I had to have it at all cost. It reminds me of you. Just look at her face. You could have been the model herself." Gabriella says, "We have just met. How could you think of me that I look like the painting if you've never seen me before?" "I must have dreamed of you, and there you were that night in the cafe. I had to have you too," said Marcel with an evil grin. "Here, drink up to your good fortune, Marcel Fortunato. Truly your name does justice. You do have good fortune wherever you go, don't you?" Then Gabriella hands him the glass. They both drink, but it all goes fuzzy, and Marcel sinks to the floor. The next day his sister Pina and her manservant come back to the manor. She calls out to her brother, "Marcel, I am home." But no one answers. The servants are all there now and doing their work, but no one has seen the master. He must have gone away without telling anyone. He's done this many times before. But now it's 2 weeks and no one had heard or seen him. How odd. He always updates his sister, who lives with him in the family home. He was not at his office. He just vanished without a trace. And now Pina is worried. He is a selfish man, she thinks, but he always informs his business partners if he goes off on one of his trips. Where could he be? Another week goes by and Pina calls her good friend, Inspector Clouseau. He's a bumbling fool, but always gets his man in the end. She calls him for help and he comes immediately. He's in love with her from childhood, but she stayed an old maid to keep house for her brother and never gave Clouseau a chance, but they stayed good friends. With his partner, Detective Emily Cross, and Cato, his chauffeur and helper, Clouseau looks everywhere for clues. He will do his best, but he tells Pina. She says, "I know you'll do your best, but this is just too big of a mystery for even you." He investigates for a week and no clues to the whereabouts of Marcel Fortunato. So Clouseau will call his good friend and fellow detective for help. The only thing different that he found was the new purchase of the painting. Pina told him that was all Marcel could talk about for weeks and weeks. He was obsessed with it, and a new love is his life, but she was a mystery woman. Pina never met her. The painting was also missing. Clouseau calls none other than Hercule Poirot and tells him of the problem finding Marcel Fortunato. Hercule is intrigued with the mystery and is now in Paris finishing up a case. He will come to his friend's aid as soon as possible, with Hastings his partner. They will be staying at the manor, Pina insists. They will be her guests while they work on the case. Anything to find her brother and the painting. Hercule did his magic and got his little gray cells working right away. They researched the painting and the artist. Louis Fauteuil, an unknown artist, an art student a century ago, and also a distant relative of the infamous Professor James Moriarty, who was Sherlock Holmes' nemesis, an evil monster in his own right. So what do? Poirot calls his friend Holmes and informs him of the connection. They need all the help they can get. So Holmes agrees to come immediately with Watson in tow. They will get to the bottom of this, knowing somehow Moriarty is involved. Together again, Poirot and Sherlock will assist Clouseau and his partners, staying at Fortunato's estate and using individual skills to crack the case, hopefully not too late for Marcel. They go over and over the manor and the estate, but if there is clues, they will be hard to find after all this time. But there's no stopping this group of seasoned detectives. Holmes finds a note in Marcel's office and a picture of a young beauty. He shows it to Pina. She says it looks like the woman in the painting, the Madonna and Child, but it can't be. The painting was a century ago, and this is a modern picture of a young woman in today's clothing. And then one of the servants come in. "Oh, madame, I have seen her before. She was the one with the master." I heard him call her Gabriella. He was very, very angry with me for disturbing him. But she smiled nicely and told him, "Not to worry, he will not tell anyone I'm here." "Am I right?" she asked me. So I kept quiet about seeing her. I think I heard her last name, Fauteuil. I thought it was strange. It means the madness of two in French. Does this help at all? Sherlock and Hastings smile and tell him, "Good job, man. This is very good, a very good clue." Hercule tells him, "Good man, I think we have a lead now. We must find this young lady. She is the clue to the whereabouts of Marcel. I feel it in my bones. But what is the connection to Moriarty?" Watson was the one to find her. She was in the paper, the Paris Cabaret, the Roland Muse. I thought she looked familiar. I saw her picture. She was the star act. Her name is Gabrielle Fauteuil, and they all rushed to meet her at her final act. It was to be her last performance. She was not surprised at all to see the famous detectives. "Oh, it took you so long to figure it out, but my dear gentleman, it's far too late for poor Marcel. I guess his good fortune was cut short." She laughed like a madwoman, but she was anxious to tell her side of the story. "Oh, Mr. Holmes, my cousin James Moriarty, on my mother's side, will be so happy that you figured this out. And none other than Hercule Poirot is here, too. Of course, Inspector Clouseau. We have met before. You don't remember me, do you? You gave me away. I was the one who stole another famous painting, but I got away from you, right from under the noses of all you cops and detectives. I stole the painting from the Louvre, and it was one of many of my talents, actress and art thief." "Oh, yes, mademoiselle, I remember you well now," said Clouseau. "But why steal this painting of an unknown artist? And what have you done with Marcel Fortunato?" "You got me now. I may as well tell you my tale. The so-called painting from an unknown artist was my own relative. He was the famous artist, the father of my great-great-grandfather, and the model was my great-great-grandmother on my father's side. I'm also a relative of your good friend, Professor James Moriarty, on my mother's side. Mr. Holmes, he's also helped me along my way, and a great advisor and teacher, isn't he? That is why the resemblance is so uncanny in the portrait. I guess I come from a long line of misunderstood people, but we are all geniuses in our own right. Here's what happened. I found out the painting was to be auctioned off. I disguised myself as an old woman because you have my pictures in all the papers, Inspector Clouseau, when I stole the painting from the Louvre. I wanted it at no cost. It was a family heirloom. But that man outbid me. With that evil smile, he dared to stare me down as he took my painting. He said, "Better luck next time, old woman." That is all it took. I had to have it, and also put him in his place for good. He had no idea who I really was. It was so easy to charm and make him fall in love with the real me. I followed him for days and casually met him in one of the nightclubs, the Café de Vue. He stared at me from afar and used his so-called charms. I let him think he was the pursuer, but it was me all at the time. I was not of his class, so he never introduced me to his family. But on the sly we met, and then one day he insisted I sneak in to see the painting. He said, "I have a surprise for you," knowing I looked exactly like the Madonna in his painting. He thought he could have me all to himself. "I will send everyone away. We can get to know each other better," he said, "alone at last in my manor house." But my plan enacted that night. A toast is what he said to my newest collection. I poured the expensive wine and handed it to him. As we drank, he knew just what I have done, and he slipped down to the floor. I had my manservant and friend waiting outside. I let him in, Quasimodo. I called him Jocko, his real name, an old friend from childhood. He was always teased because of his hunchback. The kids named him Quasimodo. But I saved him from many attacks and humiliation at their hands. He stayed by my side from that day on and will do anything for me, even now. We took Marcel out into the carriage and then went down to the catacombs. In Paris, they're everywhere. Old and crumbling, no one will ever find him. But he woke up as the last brick was being laid. I smiled and said, "Remember me always, my dear. You deserve to die in this manner." The last thing I said to him, and then I bricked the wall up. I will inform my dear cousin and thank him for teaching me just how to deal with my enemies. Just like my favorite book by Poe, The Cast of Amontillado. You should read it sometimes. Oh, he won't be reading it anytime soon. He will be forever entombed. Bye-bye, my dear Fortunato. I guess your fortune has run its course. Then I walled him up with the help of my good friend. I guess we both are mad, like the name says, the madness of two. We left him there screaming, "Why, help!" But no one will hear his cries. Now it's too late. You are just a little too late to save him. You think we are monsters? I guess we are. Two mad monsters. Then the police came and took them both away. Murders are adding up to her list of crimes. They did find him. Marcel was in the wall, died with a frightening face, frozen in all time. Well, now Pina gets it all, the manor, the estate, the family fortune. Maybe now she and Inspector Clouseau can have a life. She knows just how he is, a bumbling fool. But he will be her bumbling fool, she tells him. Sherlock, Watson, Poirot, and Hastings helped their friends solve another mystery. The outcome was not what they expected, and Professor Moriarty is still out there, probably laughing. Until we meet again, Holmes, I will keep you on your toes. But with good friends like this, working together to catch criminals, Moriarty better watch out. Until next time, come back for more on Meg's Mysteries. Have a good evening.
Once a week, that's where we'll meet at Meg's Mysteries. Join us if you dare.